So students, I'm going to start with a new chapter today, and the name of the chapter is the world population, distribution, density, and growth. This chapter is from the book Human Geography. Okay, and in this chapter, we are going to discuss about the distribution of the world population, about the density, okay, about the various theories such as the demographic transition theory, okay, which helps in predicting the future population, as well as we will be discussing about the different factors which are mainly responsible for the distribution of population in the world, actually, which are mainly responsible for uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world. So let us start with this chapter, the world population, distribution, density, and growth. See, so as we all know that the population is a very important component of a country because it is the people of a country which are its real wealth. Okay, it is the people of a country which are its real wealth, and these people determine, okay, these people, they determine the social, economic, and the cultural, okay, it helps in the people, they helps in determining the social, political, and the cultural development of a country, actually. Okay, so the people of a country are its real wealth, and it is they who are the actual resources and make use of the country's other resources and decides its policies. So the people of a country are its real wealth, actually. Okay, the people of a country are actually the real resources. Okay, because it is the people of a country, okay, who make use of the other resources which are available in the country, actually. Okay, and the people, they decide its policies and all. So for example, a particular country or a particular area is there where people are not living, but in that particular area we can find huge reserves of resources like fossil fuels and all, okay, different types of mineral resources. So what is the ultimate use of these resources? There is no use of that resources because people does not exist in those area. Okay, so that resources will just be a piece of metal or a piece of fossil fuel and all. Okay, so if people start living in that particular area, okay, so the people will start utilizing those resources for their own benefit, for the benefit of the that particular area, for the development of that particular area. Okay, so this is why it is said that the people are the country's own real resources or the real wealth, actually. Okay, and these people, they actually make use of the other resources for the social progress, for the economic progress, for the cultural progress of a nation, of a country, or a place, actually. Okay, so everything in this world has its importance when it is related to the people, actually. Okay, anything on this world has, it gets its importance only when it has some relation with the population, only when it has some relation with the people. Okay, so similarly, the resources of a particular country or a region, they gain its importance when they come to use, okay, when they are being used for the human beings and all. Ultimately, a country is known by its people, and it is important to know how many women and men a country has, how many children are born each year, and how many people they die and how. Okay, so ultimately, a country is known by its people, a country is known by its population, actually. Okay, so it is very much important, it is very much essential to know about how many men and women live in a country and how many of them are the children. Okay, how many children take birth, how many people they die. Okay, of the total population, how many are literate, how many are not literate. Okay, how many of them are engaged in agriculture, how many are engaged in secondary or the tertiary sectors and all. Okay, so we must know all this information about a particular group of people, or we must know, or we must get information about all about the population of a country, actually. Okay, and how we will get this information about the people of a country or a region, actually? Through population studies. Okay, so this group of people, whether they live in the cities or the villages, they can read or write, and what work they do, actually. Okay, these all things needs to be discussed, actually. This all thing, we must have information about all these aspects, actually. Okay, so studying to know about all these things about a population, actually, is the main work of studying population geography or population. Okay, so it is very much important, okay, it is very much essential to understand the different characteristics of population of a country, of a region actually. Okay. And the world at the beginning of the 21st century, they recorded the presence of over 6 billion population. Okay. And in the world actually, in the entire, on the earth, in the beginning of the 21st century, okay, there was a total population of around 6 billion. Okay, there was a total population was over 6 billion. Okay, but in the later period, actually, this 6 billion people has increased, and there are many causes responsible for their growth. Actually, okay. So we shall discuss the pattern of the distribution and density here, and the population of the world is unevenly distributed. Okay, so in this chapter, the world population distribution, density, and growth, we are mainly going to discuss about the distribution of the 6 billion population, about the density, about the different characteristics, and why. Okay, why this group of people, 6 billion people, are not concentrated in a particular area, why they are scattered, why the distribution is uneven actually. Okay, that we are going to discuss in this chapter. So, population is one of the most important component of geography actually. Okay, because all the geographical phenomena, they get its importance when it impacts, okay, the life of the human beings or the people actually. Okay, so in this regard, a geographer named George B. Cressy, he said about the population of Asia actually. Okay, he gave his opinion about the population of Asia. He said that Asia has many places where people are few and few places where there are many. Okay, so this line is of very important. Okay, it is of very significance actually. Why? Because Asia is the largest continent in the world. Okay, as well as in Asia, we can find Asia is also the continent which is having the highest population actually. Okay, so as because Asia is the largest continent and it holds the highest population actually. Okay, so in this regard, actually, George B. Cressy, a geographer, he said that Asia has many places. Try to understand. Asia has many places where people are few. So that means there are many places in Asia where the population is very few, very less, but few places where people are many. But there are few places. There are very few places where population is very high actually, where the population is many. For example, India and China, these are the countries which are located in the continent of Asia. Okay, and these two countries, okay, they are the largest and the second largest country in terms of population. And even in Asia, there are many countries actually, okay, where the population is very few, like Sikkim, sorry, countries I have said, like Bhutan, okay, like Malaysia, okay, like Sri Lanka and all. These are the
Russia.
population is very much less actually. Okay, so this is the significance of this line actually. Okay, Asia has many places where people are few and few places where people are many actually. Okay, so it is very much important to understand the pattern of the population distribution in the world. Okay, so it is very much essential to understand why the population is unevenly distributed and what are the causes for this uneven distribution of population actually. So as I said that the people are the most important resources of a country. So it is very much essential to know about the pattern of population distribution in the world, because there are countries where the population is very less and there are few countries where the population is very high. Okay, and even within these countries also, there is a variation in the pattern of population distribution. Okay, because of various factors. So it is very much essential to understand about the distribution of population, about the different factors responsible for the distribution of population in different countries of the world. Let's see. So the pattern of population distribution and density, they help us to understand the demographic characteristics of any area. Okay. So the pattern of the population distribution and the density of population, it helps in understanding the demographic characteristic. Demographic characteristics means the characteristics of population of any area. Okay. The term population distribution refers to the way people are spaced over the Earth's surface. Okay. So the term population distribution basically refers to the way how people are spaced over the Earth's surface. Means how people are distributed, okay, in different parts of the world actually. Okay. So broadly, 90% of the world's population, they live in about 10% of its land area. Okay, and this is a very interesting fact. About 90% of the world's population, they live in 10% of the world's geographical area. So why this is happening actually? Why 90% of the population is living in 10% of the geographical area, and the rest 90% of the geographical area is having only 10% of the population? Why? What are the causes actually? That we'll be discussing in the next discussion section. Okay, see. So as I said that the population of the world is not equally distributed actually. Different countries have different number of people. So the countries can be ranked, okay, the countries can be ranked, okay, like first, second, third and all different rankings can be provided to different countries of the world according to the population actually. Okay, according to the population. So the 10 most populous countries of the world, they contribute 60% of the world's population. Okay, so there are 10 countries in the world. Okay, and these 10 countries, they occupy 60% of the world's total population. That means 60% of the world's total population can be found in 10 countries of the world. Okay, and out of these 10 countries, 6 countries are located in Asia. So you can imagine that Asia is very largely, okay, populated actually, because out of the 10 countries which is having 60% of the total population, okay, 6 countries are only located in Asia. Okay, so let us have a look at the 10 countries actually about, okay, let us have a look which are these 10 countries actually, which are the top most populous countries actually, top 10 populous countries. Okay, and which are the Asian countries actually. See, so here you can see, if you move from the down, okay, from down from China to Mexico, you can see that these are the 10 countries, okay, in terms of population. So China is the country which is having the highest population, followed by India, USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, Mexico. Okay, so these are the 10 countries actually, okay, which is having which occupy actually, okay, 60% of the world's population can be found in this 10 countries actually. Okay, so this is what about the introduction to this chapter, the population, the world population distribution, density and growth. So as discussed that there are 10 most populous countries in the world which constitute 60% of the world's population, and out of this 10 countries, 6 are the Asian countries actually. Okay, so the next topic which I am going to discuss with you all is the density of population. Okay, so here we are going to discuss what does the term density of population mean, or what do you mean by the term population density. Okay, and how do we find out the population density in India and in the other countries of the world. Okay, as well as we will be discussing the significance of population density, or why do we need to find out the population density actually. Okay, so density of population or population density is actually the ratio between the man and the land. Okay, the ratio between the man and the land is known as the population density. Okay, so here you can see that each unit of land has limited capacity to support people living in it, and hence it is necessary to understand the ratio between the number of people to the size of the land. Okay, and this ratio is the density of population actually, and it is usually measured in persons per square kilometer. Okay, so every particular area has their own capacity to support a certain number of people. Okay, for example, a particular area has some limited resources. Okay, so these limited resources can sustain only a limited number of people. But if more number of people live in that particular area, okay, what will happen? More pressure will be there on the available resources, and the resource depletion will take place actually. Okay, so in order to understand, okay, the distribution of the population, okay, according to the availability of land, okay, the density of population is mainly find out actually. Okay, we basically find out the density of population to find out the ratio between the number of people and the available land. Okay. So this density of population is actually the ratio actually. Okay. It is actually the ratio between the number of people and the total area of a particular place or a country. Okay. And this density of population is usually expressed in persons per square kilometer. Okay, it is expressed in persons per square kilometer. And in short, you can say that population density is actually the average number of people per unit area. Average number of people per unit area. And this unit area may be per square kilometer or per square mile. Okay. So basically we take into account per square kilometer area. Okay, so in 1 square kilometer area, what is the average number of people living in a particular geographical area is known as the population density. Okay, so basically population density, okay, like is mainly we use the formula, okay, like density of population is equal to population divided by total area. Okay, so to find out the population density of any particular area, the formula density of population equal to total population by total area will be done actually. Okay, so you may be getting a question like, what is the formula to find out the population density actually? So density of population or population density equal to total population. Okay, total population what? Total population of a particular area divided by the total area of that place. For example, suppose there is a place whose name, suppose place A. A is the name of a place and the total population of A is 1,50,000. The total population of place A is 1,50,000 and the total area, total size of place A is 100 square kilometer. Okay, so if we divide the total population of A, that is 1,50,000, divided by the total area, that is 100 square kilometer, here we will find that 1,500 persons per square kilometer area is the average number of people. Okay, 1,500 persons per square kilometer area is the average number of people, okay, in place A. So this is actually the population density. Okay, so population density is actually the average number of people living in a per unit area. For example, there is a village and the size of the village is 5 square kilometer area. Okay, and the total population is 5,000. Total population in this village is 5,000 and the area is 5 square kilometer area. So how will we find out the population density of this village? The total population, that is 5,000, divided by total area, that is 5 square kilometer area. So the average number will be 1,000 person per square kilometer. Okay, so this is the density of population. Okay, so this density of population, it helps in understanding the distribution of the population, average distribution of population per unit area actually. Okay, so in our country, the density of population, okay, is quite higher than many of the Asian countries actually, because in our country the population is very high actually. Okay, so this is the reason. Okay, and on the other hand, within our country, okay, on the other hand, within our country, there is a variation in the density of population from one state to another. Okay, there are some states where the population density is very higher and there are some states where the population density is very much less actually. Okay, so basically the state which is having a small area but population is more, so obviously the density of population will be higher, and there are some states where the population is less but the area is very large, so the population density is very much less. Okay, like in case of Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is the state, okay, where the size of the state is very large but the number of people living in Arunachal Pradesh is very less. Okay, and the average density of population is only 17 persons per square kilometer. Okay, that means on an average, 17 people they live in 1 square kilometer area. Okay, that is the population density of Arunachal Pradesh. Whereas on the other hand, Bihar is the state which is having the largest population density in our country. Okay, 1102 people, 1102 population people. Okay, they live in 1 square kilometer area. Okay, so according to 2011 census, Bihar is the state in India which is having the highest population density, and Arunachal Pradesh is the state in India which is having the lowest population density. Okay, so this population density depends upon the size of the area and the total population. Okay, So this is what about the population distribution. Okay, an introduction to the population distribution of the world. Why do we need to study about the population of a particular region or a territory? And what do we understand by the term population density or density of population?